Good evening, Africa Chipembe, Ralidumedisa, Molilinteng, wherever you might be. Lani Lalele Kona. Thank you so much for tuning in to your favorite community radio station tonight. And this is episode 16 of Let's Talk Justice. It is brought to you by the Department of Justice and Constitutional Development in partnership with the Government Communications and Information System and the community radio stations around the country. And we are here. My name is Musoto Stone. And we will be talking tonight. It's still September. It is Heritage Month. It is Tourism Month. But most importantly, it is Public Service Month. And we continue to discuss various services offered by the Department of Justice as we have been talking about it. Now, child maintenance continues to be a priority for the department. And did you know that both your parents, yeah, and have a duty to maintain the child according to their perspective means, and this is what we're talking about today. To say, are you this father who is willing to do what is right, and you find that there is some heavy discussions, even sometimes not seeing eye to eye with these kind of things with the mother of the child, and everything ends up being a chaos rather than being something that is good for the child. So tonight we share with you some of the success stories as well. We will be speaking to Miss Belinda Palmer from the Western Cape, as well as Miss Lindiwe Mle Usuga Pa Ekapa in the Eastern Cape. So yeah, that's our program tonight. Stay with us. And by the way, if you want to be speaking to us as well, you can either do that on social media at the Department of Justice at DOJ_CD on Twitter. Otherwise on Facebook, we are on Department of Justice and Constitutional Development. And thanks to my producers, Tami Mazibugo tonight, as well as Victor Pala, as well as Shenin Madu. And those will be the ones who will be running the program behind the scenes. So if you don't hear me answering that call, just hear that Shenin is the one actually who will be answering that call. But before you get through to me, she will be speaking to you about the details. And you know the drill by now. If you do have your cell phone, do speak to Shenin. Shenin is going to call you back. Otherwise, if you are on the landline, there is no need. It's a toll-free. It's 0800-142-446. Without any waste of time, I have my guest tonight who will be talking to us about many things around child maintenance. Ribuale Advocate Mulalo Netshisaulu. Bamsanda. Thank you so much. Tate Netshisaulu is a national complaints manager within the child maintenance, equal parenting, and success stories. He talks about all those kind of things, and we will be talking more around that. So Shanil will give me an indication of when we'll be talking to the success stories. That's Miss Belinda Palmer as well as Miss Lindiwe Mle. They are respectively from Eastern Cape as well as Western Cape. Without any waste of time, Tate Netshisaulu, let's talk about child maintenance. Child maintenance, the whole one that. Sometimes let's just break down this English to a point where people feel like it lives within them.
Okay.
Let's talk about child maintenance.
All right. Thank you for having me just to share information regarding child maintenance. And as you have indicated here, that is one of the priority of the department. Indeed, we are striving to inform members of the public just to know their rights and to understand what are we saving them, what are the services that are there in court, because most of members of the community do not know what is maintenance. Some even confuse maintenance with the child grants. So we are here just to explain and the understanding of what is it that we are offering.
Yes.
And appreciate to have being here today just to share that information.
All right. Now, let's get into the Maintenance Amendment Act. It's an Act number 9 of 2015. It's one of the latest, newest acts that we have, although we've been having child maintenance policy, for lack of a better word, I'll call it a policy. Now, let's talk about that latest amendment that was incorporated into it.
Okay.
Yeah.
The amendment was there just to improve our maintenance recovery system and
Yes.
to close gaps where there are gaps where in terms of our maintenance. And it has got a lot of new developments that it brought after it has been passed last year signed by our president last year. And some of the things, if I can mention, like for an example, the issue of jurisdiction.
Yes.
Initially, with the maintenance, you could not apply a maintenance in the area where you are employed, and we had a challenge of people have to take leave the whole day and going to court to apply for a court where they are staying because they cannot apply it in the area where they are working.
Yeah,
but
right.
now you can request a 30 minutes or an hour, or during your lunchtime you can approach a court and make an application, submit your application. You don't have to waste your time and filling a leave form and
Is it
exhausting
thanks
your
to
days.
technology on this one? Or is it just improved systems?
You still have to approach the court. But what we are working on currently, the issue of technology applying online is not yet developed in terms of the maintenance. We're still working on that. We have just introduced what we call integrated case management system, which
That's
is
right.
ISMS.
Yes.
But then we are not yet at that stage of online. And there were also a lot of things like now, with the amendment, once you default paying maintenance, you can be taken to a credit bureau.
Yes.
These are the new developments that came after the bill has been passed, and there are a lot of more developments. If I can list those.
Very, very interesting indeed. Very interesting, because we've had quite a whole lot of defaulters who just ran amok, and the system doesn't actually even capture that. But now, besides the defaulters, some of the challenges that you have experienced over the years since this was put in place, particularly by the beneficiaries, how is this actually improving on the beneficiary side as well? Because obviously we know from the defaulter side, it's only a matter of irresponsibility at some point. Yeah.
Okay. I can tell you there are a lot of challenges that the department was facing. In fact, not the department, the clients, members of the community, with regard to the recovery of system. If I can mention one of the issue of tracing of a person. Initially, before the appointment of investigators and stuff, they will have to do their own tracing. So the department then came up with the maintenance investigator to assist to trace the whereabouts of those people that are liable to pay maintenance, and with no cost from the applicant. The investigator will be appointed by the department, paid by the department. And as well as the issue of delay of payments of maintenance money is something that we are working on it, because you will find, for an example, a payment delaying for almost a month, not the beneficiaries not getting it. So we are now encouraging our court officials or maintenance officers to do what we call direct payment.
Yes.
So that is where now the respondent will then deposit in the money into the beneficiary bank account without us as a court being a third person involved in the transaction of the money, because we also get the challenges of sometimes when employers not sending money on time and sending what we call the schedule. They send money, but they don't send us a schedule that reflects who is the owner of that money, the transaction. So it becomes a challenge. So that is why we are saying, as the department, we are then trying to do away with those. And there are also a lot of initiative currently, what we call coming with Moja Pay, to have the central payment issue, not like waiting for the schedule from employers and the stuff that will take time for beneficiary to receive their monies.
Yeah. Now, this is not by any way going to victimize the defaulters. Do they have what we normally would hear as a grace period, maybe when you owe somebody and you have defaulted, and then you can call them, say a bank or over a loan, to say, look, I had a problem this month, I will start paying properly coming next. How do you make sure that you recover such monies, as much as how do you make sure that the defaulter does not feel victimized? Because the main aim here is to make sure that the child is well taken care of. Is there somewhere where the defaulters are being advised by the department on that matter?
Remember, if the court has made an order, it will tell you to say that make a payment on or before the 7th, for an example, of the month.
That's right.
So then you are being given an opportunity, taking into account your payment date. Sometimes we will have to customize the order, taking into account when do you get paid. Then we'll then have to give you a 7 days normally grace period. But if you exceed and the complainant comes to court and lay a complaint or failure to comply with the court order, that is when now we have to take a step against you, because the order says you must pay on or before the 7th of each month. So if you then have to exceed, because remember the children's rights, we take them priority. You can't be paying something else and the kids are starving. So you need to make sure that your kids eat first, and then you can see the rest later. So that is why we are saying we encourage them to comply with the court orders and make sure that the kids can eat, not.
And then, are you able to pay upfront? Say maybe you got this big money that fell out of the sky, and your normal is like a 1,000 rand. Can you do 12,000 rands for the rest of the month of the year?
I think that will be an arrangement between you and the complainant. If you make that arrangement, or you can come to court and advise the maintenance officer, this is what you want to do. I think it can. I don't see any problem that why it cannot be made, because I'm just giving you an example in a situation where in a person lost an employment. What we do. We if you have got any history of not complying with the court order, we attach a lump sum, certain portion of maintenance, and take it to guardian fund. For it to, the guardian fund will be paying the beneficiary and the staff. So these are some of the issues that we dealt with.
Thank you, Advocate. If you have just joined us, I'm talking to the National Complaints Manager for Child Maintenance within the Department of Justice and Constitutional Development. He is an advocate, Mulalo Netshisaulu, and he is advising us a lot about if you are a defaulter or if you are somebody who's up to date with what you're doing, talk to us. Because at some point we don't even have to be talking complainingly about these things. We actually need to be very proactive rather than switching off fires. At the end of the day, children here are a priority. Okay, let's hear what the people have to say. We have Maureen from Ladysmith, right? Maureen is in KZN in Ladysmith. Hello, Maureen.
Yebo, salama bathindani.
Siyaphila kunjani ma?
Yebo.
Yaw ngiyabonga. Ungakhuluma nami nathi?
Yebo baba. Yebo.
Uthini umbuzo wakho ma? Or mhlambe ufuna ukuphawula?
Yebo, ngifuna ukuphala baba.
Ngicela uqhubeke ma.
Yeah. Baba nginkinga njengale. Ngoba abantwana akade ngihlala naye ngihlala. Bengiyashadile futhi ngihleli. Ifundo nginathi abantwana angikhona ukubafundisa baningi nabantwana abawu-8 angimbalo wesi-8 ke manje wesifike isikole ngifundisa abawu-7.
Bawu-7?
Yebo abafundayo. Le mali yegrant le ngibondla ngayo ngiqhubisa nayo. Uma nje abanye bahamba ngeenyawo kodwa ngiyazama ngamandla. Ngoba ngisuke nje umoya ngoba babe ngangami ngaze ngahamba ngofika eThekwini la esebenza khona wawuyeka umsebenzi awuyeka umsebenzi abakuba nama-complaint bangithuka ukuthi ngavele ngayeka ngathi angivele ngimyekele engizakuthandayo.
Kusho ukuthi akumnandi between wena nobaba wabantwana?
Hayi kona kukho right. Sengize ngaphuma ekhaya lakhe. Sengihlala nabantu abami kwenye indawo.
Okay. Manje bofuna ukuthi u-advocate akusize ngani on that one?
Uthi nje okuningi ngade ngicede ngiqala abantwana bami ngicela befunde befundiseleke nje ngicela kakhulukazi okuningi ingene kodwa nje kufundiseleka nje ngoba ngiyahluleka ukubafundisa kumele ngikusho.
Okay, I hope advocate you got that one. Do you want to speak to Usis Morin before she leaves, or she can listen on the radio?
No, I just wanted to get a clarity whether
Yes.
whether is the father of kids still working now.
Sis Morin, uyizwile ngathi?
Yes.
Usasebenza?
Ubaba khona. Usho mina ngamgcina uhlala nentombazane eThekwini usebenza ngawaqagcina umsebenzi uyekile angami useyasebenza.
Uyasebenza kodwa uqhubekile ngempilo yakhe nomunye umuntu.
Yebo, kodwa usebenza wayeka umsebenzi osebenza e-furniture shop wayeka.
Alright.
Usebenza khona manje kasimazo basixhumana naye akatholakali nasefoni nasimazike. Futhi uhambela kisho uhamba phela ngo-2010.
Okay. Wena uke waya e-court and try to put something together, maybe an application or something?
Ngaye court enkantolo ngamtshela nokhansela wakhona ngale ndawo amaphoyisa khona akazange avune uku-attenda kude futhi amaphoyisa ngawakhomba ngoba nganginawo ukuthi ngangaphatheka futhi kahle ngagcina nje sinyikile ngoba ukukhuluma kwawo ngabona ukuthi ajwayele nabangifika afika imhlophe engayiphethe wafika wathi umlungu ngeke ngikwazi ukuthetha icala selindlu nasobheke kwesifola imhlophe akhe semsebenzi nawo uyiphethe into engizoyikhuluma ngoba cishe mina ngaze ngaqanuka amaphoyisa ayo-7 a-attende leyo case ye-grant yengane.
Okay.
Ngaze ngakhetha ngihamba kwi-council ngafike ngalitshela ngachazela yonke inkulu ukuthi akangaphi ngavele ngasinyeka ngavele nje ngayeka thoda ngahlalela nabantu aba.
Okay ma. Sis Morin, ngibonga kakhulu, ngicela ulalele emsakazweni ngathi.
Okay,
Ngiyabonga ma. All right, thanks to Sis Morin from Ladysmith. Before you get onto that one, advocate, let's go to Patco. Patco, which language are you going to use today? You are a South African, my man. Morenaka, uqhubeka kaSixhosa.
Ngiyaqhubeka ngeSixhosa manibulise abantu abalapho ngaphakathi ku-studio ngithi kulivuyo ukuthi sithethe nabo namhlanje.
Siyabonga inkosi.
Uqala ngiyaqonda ke ndibuze more than 5 times lo mbuzo.
Yes.
Umbuzo wami wokuqala uthi kukho abantu abafumana imali ye-maintenance. Ngenxa befumana le mali ufumana ukuthi ayiphumi iphelele. Uba ngaba kumele ukuthi unabantwana abathathu kumele bafumane 1000 okanye 3000. Uzofumana 1000 rand. Enye 2000 rand ayiphumi. Ngombuzo wami wokuqala ibangelwa yintoni lo nto leyo? Umbuzo wami wesibili uthi ndifuna uqonda ukuba ngelixa urhulumente esithi imali izawuthatha zitransferwe ifake emakhadini loo nto leyo ayikenzeki. Ingaba izawuthatha ixesha elingakanani iprogram yabo in order ukuthi ikwazi usebenza ngoba abantu bayaya sometimes emagistrate phayana kwi-office maintenance kuthiwa imali ayikangeni abesithi utata yiyo leslipini ingenile imali iyabonisa kwinto kwi-payslip yami uba ingenile. Ngombuzo wami okugqibela ndifuna uqonda ukuba xa umuntu enengxaki ufumana ukuthi utata ukhupha imali ye-maintenance ngelixa ikhupha imali ye-maintenance utata kukho utata ohlala apha endlini and then umama eza athathe laa mali leya ahambe aye naye endlini 2 days emveni uba umntana efumene imali umntana uyabuya uza kutata tata andinamali umama kandithengelanga sihlangu kandithengelanga nix ufuna 1 2 3 esikolweni. Ingaba ke iproblem ezinjalo kumele bezireport wethu zisolva ngalo buhlobo. Ngiyabulela kakhulu ntate sewunika amamela uTakalani.
Kilebula ntate Patco. Thank you so much for Takalani. It's a radio station based in Eastern Cape in Aliwal North. Thank you so much. Well, let's take 3 callers and then we can let the advocate actually tap onto those issues. We got James from Uppington. It's in the Northern Cape. Hello, James.
Hi, Msoto, and good evening to the advocate as well. I'm listening through Radio Riverside.
Thank you to Radio Riverside, indeed.
There is, I think, a perception that only women can go to the courts and apply for child maintenance. Can you clarify if also the male can also approach the courts to claim child maintenance, and under what circumstances will those be if they are different from the other gender? Then the second question is there a cut-off age? My child, for example, is 6 years, and I am taken to court to pay maintenance. Is there an age cut off to say now I am no longer going to be paying maintenance because of a certain age that the child might be. Those would be my two questions.
All right. Ke lebogile thata, Mr. James atswa go Northern Cape. Before you leave, James, is there anything, advocate, you might want to follow up with him on?
No, I'm okay.
All right,
I'm
it's
okay.
Listen to Radio Riverside, Abu James. All right. Yes, advocate, let's start with Maureen's stuff. She's having what I would call one of the most common challenges that we have. Somebody vanishing into thin air. They agree to everything. And now that life has moved on somewhere, and life is hunky-dory somewhere in the cities of this South African country, he decides to just cut off contact. What happens now? She's been trying quite a few things now, and I think maybe she will need some kind of advice to clear this up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, what I can suggest to her is that she I'm not quite sure when did she last went to court and make an application for maintenance. I can suggest her to go back to court and make an application for a maintenance against this guy, because a child grant cannot replace the legal duty of this guy.
Exactly.
He needed to contribute towards the maintenance of his kids. So I understand they've been staying together. She might be having information like ID number of the father of kids. So with that information, we have got a system that we can able to trace the whereabouts of the people liable to pay maintenance or defaulters. Yes. So they can try to assist her and check if this guy is employed. And if he's employed, then we can serve documents to her. And I will also appreciate if the producer can leave her contact number. Yes. We can as well address this issue through our complaints manager at the KZN region to assist.
That's right.
So if she's having some hiccups at the court, so that we can intervene and assist her with regard to her applications, because she's indicated she's got a lot of kids that she's looking after. Yeah. So we can able to assist. If the producer can assist with the contact number, then we will be liaising with our complaints manager at the KZN regional office to assist with the application.
And it's a guarantee. Every time when you have your complaint here and we cannot resolve it immediately on air, there is a follow-up team led by Victor Pala and consulting with advocate Netshisaulu and all the other structures within the department, and they will be calling, as we will be talking to some testimonies by Miss Belinda Palmer as well as Miss Lindiwe Mle. They are respectively from Eastern Cape and Western Cape. We stay tuned. We will definitely be talking to them earlier on. And then let's move on to Patco's issues. He's saying sometimes there is this tendency, I don't know if it's a tendency, it's just lack of a better English word for me. There is this thing that happens where you know that you're going to get 1.5, and now all of a sudden it becomes 1.350 or 950. Why is it not coming as full as it comes, as it has been reflected? Let's talk with that one first.
Okay.
To that one first.
You know, just to answer that, there are a lot of issues that are involved, like I've indicated, the issue of employers sending money to us, and sometimes they send with a schedule which is mixed up. Yes. So officials that are at the court level, with the reference which is incorrect, you end up paying the money to the beneficiary because they've quoted the reference which is incorrect, and the beneficiary will receive the amount which is not supposed to be. Sometimes it's more.
Yeah,
you get more money instead of, let's say for example, the order is 1,000 and you get 2,000. So it's happening. That is why we are saying now what we are doing. We are trying to make sure that an order goes directly. Then we are avoiding the issue of us capturing the money into our court system and transfer it to the beneficiary. If it goes from the respondent or from the employer directly into the beneficiary bank account, it doesn't have a problem. So that is why we are saying, instead of avoiding those kind of issues that we find out ourselves in and end up paying the money that is not supposed to be going to the beneficiary.
Yes. Now, and he was also asking about the card transfers, electronic transfers directly into people's accounts, as you say. And from where he's standing, probably in Aliwal North, it hasn't happened as yet.
Currently, we are no longer doing what we call payment at the cash hall.
Okay.
We are no longer paying the clients at the cash hall.
Yes.
We transfer it to their bank account. It's only in exception, those cases, because some of the people do not have ID and you cannot open a bank account. So you cannot say this person is not entitled to get maintenance because you don't have an ID and you can't open a bank account. So that will be the very few cases that we are dealing with, that we can pay over the counter. So that is what we are not doing currently.
All right.
Yes.
Okay. One last one from Padco. As I summarize it, it has a lot to do with accountability. As the challenges you said, that probably the court and the person who needs to pay might have agreed on 1,000 rands, and this guy keeps on putting 850 in there. And the accountability and monitoring and the communication between the two parties, where do you get in terms of facilitating the right procedure in that one? Because it's more about accountability, basically, around that.
Remember, after an order has been made by a court, and just an example that you gave, and it goes directly into the complainant bank account.
Yes.
There we won't have any information that is coming to our system. The only time that we'll have that information is when the complainant comes to our court to complain and say that, but there is no money coming in. And he also touches the issue of saying the mother sometimes will get that money but not use it for the purpose of the kids. They use it for their own purposes.
Yes, somebody actually mentioned that.
So I think it's the one.
Yes.
He mentioned that.
Yes.
So in that situation, what you need to do is that if you have got any information that the money is not being used by the complainant to that particular child, you can come back to court and indicate and lay a complaint to say that I'm paying for maintenance, but I see my child at the street. She doesn't even have shoes. He doesn't eat. He comes to me, but I'm paying maintenance, and the school fees are not being paid, but I'm paying maintenance. So the court will then have to refer the matter for an inquiry involving the social worker to see as to whether is there any person that can be able to take care of these kids and replace the complainant. Maybe perhaps sometimes you'll find is a grandmother. Replace the complainant, we pay the grandmother will be taking care of the children. So if you don't come and lay a complaint, we won't have that information. As the respondent.
That's right. 0800 142 446, it's the number to dial. It's a toll-free number, and if you're using your cell phone, we'll definitely call you back. And now, James from Uppington, he's listening to Radio Riverside, and he says, can anyone claim child maintenance based on their situation, either being male, gay, lesbian? I just don't want to talk about the two genders because we got quite diverse people around, and you find that they get into agreements, the next thing they don't honor agreements. Can anybody claim maintenance?
Yes, they can. We don't discriminate by gender to say that you are not entitled. It's just that more especially the statistics will show that majority of our clients are females that are coming for an application. But there are those few men that come and approach the courts. Is that by nature men are having that pride of saying I cannot be assisted by a woman to maintain my child. So we also encourage men that if you are staying with the kids, you are the one taking care of the kids. She must assist you. The same way as if she's staying with the kids, you are going to assist her in maintaining those kids. So it's the responsibility of both the parties, both the parents to maintain their kids. It's not like it's a one-man station wherein he needs. And sometimes what happens is they will even take advantage of you. Women also come to court and apply for a maintenance.
Yes.
While the child is staying with you.
Exactly.
So and say I want to maintenance, but when you do an investigation, you find out the guy is currently staying with the child. So they don't. They're not open and
Yes.
tell us, and
Yes.
it's because of the pride.
Because basically, that's why I was even asking that question about victimization in this whole process. Because you might find that he's doing quite very well, or she's doing quite very well in terms of taking care of the kids. But here's these small complaints coming up, saying, no, he's not doing it on time, or he's not doing this, he's not, just to get to the other person. Because here we have a problem that has emotional connotations, if I may say. But now, integrating it with that as a follow-up question is that also the time frame of supporting these kids. How far do you need to go? Do you still support a 30-year-old who happens to be your kid? No.
Yes.
I say no. Maybe out of my mind.
I said yes.
Yeah.
Because you know why I'm saying this. Initially, before you will support the child until the age of 18.
Yes.
But currently now, as it stands, the maintenance says you maintain the child until the child is self-supporting. So the issue of 18 falls away.
Yes.
So I'll give you an example. The child will be more than 25 or 23, but still at varsity.
Yes.
So then you still have to remember the maintenance of a minor child is assumed that the need is there. But once you attain the age of majority, you need to prove that you need maintenance.
All right.
So it's not like it's already assumed that you need maintenance. You need to prove. You need to come and bring an application before court and say, I want maintenance because of this and this and this.
You need to bring that quotation from, let's say, the quotation from University of KZN maybe, to say, look, I'm on my second year.
Yes.
And they need their fees,
yes.
Even though fees must fall, but whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, it's some of the example that you can use to when you're dealing with application of a person with major. So these are the things that you need to prove that indeed you need them. So sometimes you might find a child who's over the age of 30 but mentally not well and all those kind of things, and the parents can still maintain the child. So you cannot be discriminating that particular child because of the nature of kind of illness that the person is. So that
situation
is
that they are in. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much, Advocate, for that one. And before we speak to Nkuli, should we speak to Belinda first? All right. Belinda is one of the beneficiaries of this great crusade by the Department of Justice and Constitutional Development. She'll tell us a lot about that. She is from the Western Cape, and she's one of those people who has actually helped so much by the process that is going on and through these programs by the Department of Justice. Hello, Belinda.
Hello. Hi there.
How are you doing?
I'm fine, thanks. How are you?
All right. Welcome to Let's Talk Justice, and thank you so much for availing yourself to be speaking to us tonight.
Thank you.
All right. Tell us what the department did for you.
Well, I brought a claim because my ex-husband hadn't paid maintenance in relation to our daughter for 4 years. So I brought a claim for unpaid maintenance. And after a fair amount of back and forth with the maintenance court, that claim was awarded and eventually paid by my ex-husband. And then on the advice of the magistrate, I brought a further claim for future maintenance on the basis that my ex-husband had basically said that he wasn't intending to pay any maintenance going forward. And also eventually received that claim, so a lump sum was paid to the Guardian's Fund for the benefit of my daughter. and I received now a monthly payment out of that lump sum every month towards my daughter's expenses and school fees and her medical aid.
All right. That's quite very wonderful. So now, when did it start getting better? Is it this week or last week or something?
I bought the claim in about August last year, and the initial claim for the arrears for the 4 years that hadn't been paid, that came through sort of just before Christmas in late December. And then I bought the other claim in relation to future maintenance in January, because I bought the claim in August, and by the time it came through in December, already my ex-husband was in arrears since August, so he already sort of wasn't paying anything anyway. So I bought a further claim for arrears, and then bought the claim for the future maintenance, which a court will award if it's shown that somebody has no intention of paying. They're basically a repeated defaulter, and they have they've proved that there's really very little intention that they will be paying anything in the future, and the court can then attach an asset or attach a pension to get to secure future maintenance for the child.
Well, thank you so much. And then, how are things now in terms of going on with life? Are things getting better? And is he actually responding quite very well, or is it still early stages where we're still observing how well is he going to do or something?
Well, because there was a lump sum attached, there is a guaranteed payment that now comes from the Guardians Fund, so I don't rely on him anymore.
Okay.
That makes a huge difference. I can rely on that payment coming in every month. I know that there'll be 50% of the school fees will be paid. That makes a huge difference. In terms of, I guess, my relationship with my ex-husband, obviously all the court proceedings take their toll. However, he's continued throughout all of this and throughout the past 4 years. He sees our daughter, which is a good thing.
Yes.
So at least that relationship continues. And I guess eventually we'll move past the court proceedings, hopefully.
All right. Thank you so much. And maybe lastly, Belinda, is there something maybe that you can talk to our listeners about that actually could encourage them to actually did what you did and take responsibility and get this thing resolved the way it did?
Yes, really just to encourage people to bring claims where someone is defaulting on maintenance. It can be a hassle. You do need to go and spend hours in the magistrate's court. But the maintenance officers are helpful, and the law is on your side. There's an obligation on people to support their children. So rather than trying to battle away, for 4 years I didn't receive maintenance, and you kind of put it off until you're desperate. But just to encourage people to bring a claim, and also, I thought I didn't even know about future maintenance before, and I think the fact that there is this, there's a possibility for repeat defaulters to actually have a lump sum taken from them, and I think that also should motivate people to pay maintenance where they are legally obliged to do so. Because so long as you, as a parent, you keep paying maintenance when you should and honouring your obligations, well then, it's just only ever be a monthly obligation. But if you repeatedly default, then there is a risk that that your house or your pension or something like that might be attached.
Thank you so much. I'm glad this actually worked for you, Belinda. Can you continue actually also helping others around your community and also advise them in terms of who to contact around your area?
Absolutely. I went through the Wynberg Magistrates Court, and there are a number of maintenance officers there. It's a very busy court, but you will be seen if you go there, and I would encourage
everybody who needs their children to be supported.
All right.
To exercise those avenues.
All right. Thank you so much, Belinda, for talking to us. Really appreciate that. And may you continue to be an example, a shining example for that matter, to all the people who are listening to this program.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. That was Belinda Palmer. She's one of the beneficiaries who actually got something good, quite very good out of this advocate. And is there something you might want to say based on what Belinda has been saying?
I think what she said it's very motivating because she managed to get what she wanted through, like what I've indicated here. If you default, we can still attach your pension to recover maintenance, and this is what we are encouraging our maintenance officers countrywide. We are training them. We are running around indicating we don't have to chase after the respondent.
Exactly.
They must chase after the system. Because once you then issue warrant arresting them, you'll be chasing the police, chasing them and the stuff. So, but once you attach the money, they will be coming after the system. So this is what encouragement from our maintenance officers, and what we have been preaching to them to say, let's use this piece of legislation to assist members of the public.
That's right. Now, is Kuli on the line? All right, Kuli is on the line, but before that, Advocate, I want us to speak a little bit around some of your main, biggest challenges that you get as a complaints manager, as a person who's leading this unit that hears what people are responding to. What are some of the highlights? Maybe mention two of them that you normally would experience on a daily basis.
You see, some of the challenges that we are having is tracing
the defaulters.
Yes, or not necessarily defaulters, because you can't be a defaulter before an order has been made.
Yes.
So you can also be a person responsible that will be responsible for paying maintenance. These are some of the things that, because the information that is brought by some of our clients, for an example, you know the full name and you don't even have contact number, you don't have ID.
Yes.
It's very difficult for us to trace that particular person.
That's right.
So if at least there was a cell phone number, there was an ID number, because if it's Mazibuko Thomas, you get a lot of Mazibuko Thomas, you don't even know where to start.
Exactly.
She doesn't know where the person stays. So these are some of the challenges that we are experiencing when you want to deal with assist members of the public without more information. And we also encourage, if you are dating someone, please just get more information.
That's
At
right.
least in case if something happens, then you will be having something to follow.
Yeah.
We will have to be able to can find and trace that particular person.
Right.
So yeah, it's one of the challenges that we are facing.
All right. It's our toll-free number. It's 0800 142 446. It's a toll-free number. It will charge you if you're going to stick onto your cell phone and you don't want to be called back. But Shanine is over there. She will definitely give you a call if you make that effort and call in wanting to do. Okay, let's take Kuli before we go to Lindiwe. Lindiwe is another beneficiary that we will be speaking to. She's from the Eastern Cape, Lindiwe Mle, and she will tell us her story just like Belinda has mentioned. Okay, Kuli, you listening to Riverside. I presume that you are from the Northern Cape. Hello, Kuli.
Hi, Musutu.
I'm very well. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
Good.
Good evening to you and your guests. Thank you for having me, and I've been patient, I'm telling you.
It's a pleasure. Thank you for that.
I've been wondering, Musutu, in an instant when you are married,
Yes.
and you're unemployed, but your spouse is working. Say you're having a child outside marriage or even before you got married to your spouse. Can maintenance still be claimed in such an instance? And the money, of course, coming from the spouse, is it obliged for that matter? Or will it be a choice for the spouse?
All
and
right.
also the other question will be, can a child claim or apply for maintenance on behalf of a parent for themselves?
That's a very interesting one. Is that all that you have?
That will be all for now.
All right. Thank you so much. Keep listening
you.
to Radio Riverside. Thank you so much. Ndate Tebogo Munyo, you're doing a great job over there.
Thank you.
All right. Advocate, let's deal with this one. Can you claim when you're married? 1. 2. Can a child claim on behalf, let's say, as we were talking, we got different medical challenges in life that affects our lives, and then the mother is not actually in a good position to actually do the claiming process. Can the child do that on behalf of the mother?
That one I need to just get a clarity on behalf of the mother, and is the mother going to be the one who's going to benefit from that, or is the child? Because in terms of our law, you need to be age of 18 to apply for a maintenance.
Let's give it context. I would like to think that the child is a kid to this lady or to this gentleman. Now, this person has not gone to school. They cannot read English. They cannot read the forms and all that. Now, this kid has been going to school, and it's their kid. Say maybe somewhere, somehow they got some means, but now they not. So we're putting it in a sense that these are two people who are staying together, and this is the kid to the parent. Now, can you help your parent in that particular situation to say, I can write an affidavit, I can fill in the forms, I can, and now they cannot even sign because basically they might have polio, just being practical.
With the application part of it is not a problem of completing that. They can complete, but still we have got our maintenance clerks at the court. It is their responsibility to assist those that cannot write and read and explain. So it will be much better if she goes to court assisted by a maintenance clerk who knows the process and explain the process to the mother who can't read and write, to say this is what is actually happening. I'm feeling I want this information, and completing the form, because sometimes for just an outsider to complete that form, it might be a problem. You won't be knowing what is it, where must I write this amount, where I'm supposed to write the details of the respondent. So if it's a clerk of the court that is there to assist, because it is their responsibility to assist members of the public to complete those forms, then they will sit down and complete that form with them. But it's not a problem if a child wants to assist as well.
Yeah. Does it also go to a point where they need to do follow-ups, like some minor investigation to say, okay, this one says he's got a mother at home, the mother cannot come to court? Are the clerks allowed to actually go a bit further than just staying in the office and assisting? Say maybe it's in a village somewhere, and the court is somewhere in Polokwane. So are courts allowed, court clerks, once they get to see the situation, say it's understandable that that person might be bedridden, for instance, are they allowed to go and also do a further investigation to see on their own that this situation is real and happening?
In that situation, the clerks, I don't think they will be going to the place and assist. But what can happen is there can be someone who can be appointed to act on behalf of the person who cannot. But the person must be a major, must not be a minor. At least can act on behalf of the other person to apply, because this person cannot read and write and doesn't understand. Maybe sometimes they are not even mentally well. Yes. So there can be someone who can be appointed to be a guardian to that person and assist in the court processes and claiming maintenance and the stuff. But you must be over the age of 18 to assist.
Now it brings a question that's quite very crucial. Can a rape victim claim for maintenance?
If it's the child that was then after as a result of rape, and the father is employed, does have the means, there's nothing that can stop the applicant to approach the court and make an application. That will be different issues with regard to him trying to request or apply for an access or contact to that particular child. So that would be a totally different story.
Yes.
But as a result of the child being born and she doesn't have means, the rapist have the means to maintain There's nothing that can stop her from going to court, because the issue is, if the paternity, it says he is the father, so then he needs to contribute towards the maintenance. It will be up to the applicant to approach the court and make an application, and the court cannot refuse her to say that we can't make an order in that situation.
That's right. All right. Let's now move on to talking to Usis Lindiwe. Usis Lindiwe is from the Eastern Cape. She'll tell us exactly where she's coming from. She's one of the beneficiaries that actually, through this service of child maintenance, and what actually the department is doing through the complaints manager, advocate Netshisaulu. This is a process that has been going on for quite some time now. Sis Lindiwe, siyakwamukela ninjani?
Siyaphila futhi kusiphatha ingweba ninjani futhi?
Siyaphila impela. Thank you so much for availing yourself, and let's talk about your experience and how the department actually got ukuthi usizeke engxakini yakho.
Okay, my experience, I was divorced in 2014.
Mm-hmm.
Then, then my lawyer told me that because you call them you share everything, the house, the pensions.
Yes.
Then half of my pensions are in Yemen. Then I was left with the England. So no, if I'll go for future maintenance because my husband was not working. So future maintenance, I went to the office here by the magistrate, down. Then I was assisted up Mr. Sambokwe and the team, the magistrate. So future maintenance, then half of my then go, half year pensions. But kwenzeka ke ngokuphutha lobana ifumane ithi order ikhona but ingena abayifumane. So indezeke ioffice yakwa magistrate court xa si realize abakwenzeke lonto imanage babayithathe back la mali bayibuyisele kum. That's how I was assisted. So they were so helpful because I was so frustrated because kaloku bendingayazi uba abantwana bazawushiyeka bazawufunda nantoni na.
Yes. Do you mind? Yeah. Do you mind mentioning the office where you went to, because we need to actually recognize these offices that are doing quite well around the country.
The office is a King Town.
Right.
Umanje wakhona Mr. Nel. And Mr. Samboka, I also forget to unantika umchuchisi wakhona. Because because bekwenza judgment. My ex-husband wayengekho yena then kwenza judgment engekho, so apparently bebonakala into yobana communicate ne-department of lena yakwa-pension ne.
Yes.
iyakwazi uba ithi yenziwe ikwazi ukufumaneka iphimeko, but umanje wandithembisa uba noba iphi imali noba ifakwe phi na izawukwazi iphinde ibuyele kum. Then ke ngoku abantwana ke ngoku basafe because yayazi into yobana laa mali ye-future maintenance yabo bazakwazi ke ngabantwana bafunde kakuhle izinto zabo ngoba ba-affectwe nayi-divorce, but financially they will be secured.
Wow. And also, can I just get from you, Sis Lindiwe, awusabiswa by this respondent to this whole case, because probably they might be feeling that mhlawumbe the law is more on your side than his side, and his life iqhubeka kahle ngoku? I'm saying, so the life iqhubeka kahle ngoku, you have no threats or any unnecessary contact with the respondent, ubaba wabantwana, in this whole process. How does your process work? Do you deal directly with the department or the office rather than dealing directly with the respondent?
No, the office, the office
okay.
The magistrate office. Yes.
All right.
But I couldn't do this because I was not concerned about anything, because you will find that the divorce abantwana ngabo affected, because to go forward nabantwana abathathu ungayazi ube ungazoba nazo lezo pension. Xa uyazi into yobana at least ifuture yabo yona isecured, uyabona.
Yes.
Enye nenye into zakwazi ukudila nayo.
All right.
Because the concern yami uba aba bantwana bona bazawuthina, because to take imali iye ngakuye then abe engasebenzi nosebenza ke yena yabo.
That's right. Sis Lindiwe, sesiwe ixesha man. Lastly, I would just ask you to just encourage all those people who have been in your situation in your own words. Please.
Abantu abakule situation yam ndiyafuna into yobana especially abalapha eqolo. And I always refer to my case ebantwini because most women are kule situation and kaloku xana amadoda engaphangeli they tend to go for a divorce so that bafumane ke ngoku le half% ye-pensions zabo. But abantwana abaku-ages under 18 then abo bantwana abo bayakwazi uba bakudifende at least imali noba ayizikuwela mali but xa sebantwaneni bakho ibhetere kunoba kuthiwe imkile because in some cases umntu uyakwazi ufowuni athi hayi ndiselwandle ndityala imali yakho. Kanti ke xa uyazi because they tend not to have i-concern ngabantwana uba abantwana bazawukhula njani bazawutya ntoni. So ndiyafuna ukutsho ukuthi i-ofisi yaseqonce mayithi keep up ibanceda abantu because njengam because I was so happy and ndasenda ne-email ezitshoyo ukuthi ndiyabulela kakhulu because isengengabo mhlawumbi yenzile kwi-mental institution because it-frustrate ubana ndingayazi uba abantwana bam bazakwenza ntoni.
Yeah. Sis Lindiwe, enkosi kakhulu for availing yourself. Thank you so much. This is one of the great stories to tell. I'm not even saying good, but it's great to tell. Ukuthi umthetho wethu is actually taking care of its kids in this country, and particularly the people who are dedicated to taking care of the kids. Ngibonga kakhulu very much, and may you be successful going forward. Thank you, ma. All right. That was one of our last beneficiaries for today. Ki Aus Lindiwe Mle. She is based in the Eastern Cape. And you might be having the same story, but one thing I can tell you is that we're bringing you all these stories so that you can garner your confidence, your encouragement, and you approach the office, the complaints office regarding maintenance. And we're running out of time, Advocate, but I would like to give you that opportunity of saying the last word, some of the few things that you'd like to highlight, as well as maybe comment on generally the beneficiaries in terms of the services that they're getting through your office.
All right. No, thank you. The last speaker just indicated it's motivating as well. It's the same situation as the previous speaker who
That's
mentioned.
right, yes.
So this is what I'm saying. It's also motivating our maintenance officers as well at the court level and to deal with these kind of issues. And maybe perhaps just to inform members of the public that did not know that some of these cases maintenance are results of divorce.
Yes.
So, and once it's done at the High Court, they don't know where to enforce these court orders. At the maintenance court, they can also approach and enforce the court order that has been made by the High Court.
Yes.
So if there is not any compliance or any other issues regarding, or you need to increase or decrease, so you can still approach. The maintenance court is sui generis. It has got power like a High Court. It's not
yes.
like normal magistrate court.
That's
so it can vary the order that has been made by the magistrate. And also just to encourage also men to don't wait for an order to be made against you. Continue contributing towards the maintenance of your child, even if it's outside the court environment. You can do that. It's a challenge when you deal with a person in front of you who's having a hostile mindset, who doesn't want to who doesn't want to contribute towards the maintenance of the child. So you have got this mentality of saying this person it's irresponsible. So, but if you shows that you have been doing what you're supposed to do, then you see that we won't have a problem with members
considering alternatives that will be workable to us.
Yes, because you see a person coming to court earning 20,000 and said I can offer 350. What is that? So that is are the issues that we deal with that on a daily basis.
Jokes indeed.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Advocate. And one last question from me is that you see from the two beneficiaries, what I realized is that there is a certain amount of approachable process where people deal with quite a lot of emotionally damaged people. Are you ready to be, as an office, be able, as you are mentioning that, sometimes you get this hostile person, and the capacity of dealing with such issues at an emotional level. Just talk to that before Tammy. Just put that thing a little bit down so that he finishes.
Yes, when you deal that with maintenance officer, you deal with a lot of problems, the grudges between the couples and the staff. So sometimes you don't have your emotions into dealing with those matters, because when you deal with those kind of matters, sometimes they involve issues that are outside maintenance.
Yeah.
So you need to stick on what parties are before you, because I'm telling you, yes, those kind of issues, that is what you deal with on a daily basis at the court. So rather stick on what is. If there are any other issues that they need to address, they can approach another platform.
Yeah.
It's either if they want advice or social worker to deal with that. But maintenance officers, sometimes they have to intervene and assist and give advice.
I can just imagine. All right, for more information, we have run out of time, and apologies for those that we have just skipped a bit of time, 5 minutes. But for more information, go to www.doj.gov.za, and somewhere there you will find issues on maintenance. Otherwise, if you are contactable through contact number, are you able to share it with us?
Yes, and even on website, my contact are there.
Yes.
Once they open the website that you have just mentioned now, they can see my details, and they can also contact me on 012 315 1512.
All right.
Yes.
Advocate Mulalo Netshisaulu is the manager for the office complaints manager within the Department of Justice and Constitutional Development. Thank you so much for availing yourself, and thank you for listening. Up until next week, when you are joined by Karabo Lance, it's a goodbye. Liperile. Thank you very much.